If, like me, you have a mild panic attack every time you go on holiday, then this video definitely is for you. I'm just about to go, it's the middle of summer, and of course I am worried if all my hard work and all the plants around the garden will survive 6 or 7 days without my intervention. And the truth is, they most likely will. But there are a number of things that you and I can do to ensure that all your little babies make it through the very hard, hot week of being away. So I'll be showing you some of the simple things that you and I can be doing to ensure that when we get back from our holiday, you are as happy to see your plants as they are to see you. And that your worst nightmare, which is seeing a floppy or dry brown plant, doesn't become your reality. One of the first things I would advise is to place, if possible, as many of your containers and plants in their temporary locations in a shadier spot of the garden. Although you can see there is a little bit of sunlight here, I'm trying to not exclude them completely from sun because these are sun-loving plants, and so deep shade would probably also not suit them very well, depending on how long you go away for. But certainly placing them in a shadier spot will help them retain the moisture, and it will just prevent that hot summer sun from baking them bone dry, which is what we're trying to avoid. In addition to putting plants in a shadier position, it's also a good idea to group plants because this provides a bit more of a microclimate in which humidity remains relatively high, and this just helps keep the plants happy and perky. If your pots are too big to move, then try and bring in smaller pots into a central location where the big pots might be, and again create that microclimate and that group of plants that will hopefully keep each other cool rather than having individual pots spaced throughout the garden, which are more likely to dry out quickly. As your plants might be actively growing while you're on holiday, and certainly those plants that are about to flower, it might be beneficial to them to remove the unnecessary flowers because, again, flowering places a lot of stress and a high burden on the plant. So by doing that, you're just delaying flowering a little bit until you're back, because there isn't anyone except perhaps the bees and the pollinators to appreciate your flowering plants. So this is really one for you to decide. I'm selective as to which plants I do allow to flower and which ones I prefer to remove the extra growth or flowers so that they are happier while I'm away. And there you go, a better plant that will be able to stand proudly on its own without my having to care for it too much in the time that I'm away. Small plants are particularly susceptible to drying out or being targeted by pests while you are away and you're not able to keep an eye on them. So I will be placing all my small plants that haven't found their way into the garden yet, hello Quincy, into a crate such as this, and I will be placing it in a higher position to try and avoid and prevent the slugs and snails from reaching the plants. Again, this will be one of those examples where I will place these plants in a very shady position because these pots are ever so small. It will take one afternoon of baking sun and a dry, warm wind to dry them out completely, and a day or two later, they definitely will die. So take care of your young seedlings and your young plants. If, like me, you do have young small plants still, because I came to the gardening game a little bit late this year, and so I have things that haven't yet been transplanted, and so I don't want them to die. And this cat seems to agree. Of course, if you can, water your garden really thoroughly and really deeply before you do go on holiday, because this does keep them hydrated, certainly from when your holiday starts. And so I tend to always water in the early mornings and really try and water really deeply so that, well, so that there's enough water for them to keep going for the time that you're away. Smaller pots especially are very prone to drying out, and so are hanging baskets. So if at all possible, remove your hanging baskets from where they are situated in the full sun, bring them to ground level, give them a good drink, and also potentially consider keeping them in a shadier spot. If, like me, you have sown a few trays of seedlings or seeds prior to going on holiday, then place them in a container that can hold water. Fill the container with a little bit of water just so that the seedling tray is submerged, but not fully. And this will, well, firstly prevent any potential pests from climbing up and chomping away at your new seedlings, but also this just allows the compost to take up water and for the seedlings to access that water when they start germinating and start emerging and sprouting. And so therefore, this will prevent your seedling tray from drying out, which we know is one of the main reasons seeds tend to fail. And for more tips on what to do to successfully germinate seeds, or to understand why seed sowing so often goes wrong, have a look at this video on my channel. If you can, do remember to leave out a bit of water for the wildlife. If you tend to have a bird bath or some trays in which you place water for insects, then remember to top those up and to move them into the shade as well, because when you're away and the hot weather continues, these wonderful creatures will still be looking for their water. So don't forget the wildlife. Hopefully now you can go on holiday feeling assured that when you come back, all your plants will be in tip-top condition. Saying that, however, here and there you might have a disappointment, and again, that's just one of those things. It's a learning curve. Don't let it ruin your holiday. And hopefully when I'm back, I am able to continue gardening and to continue enjoying the rest of this gardening season. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.